Hey guys, I wanted to make a video about this. I feel like there's so many different opinions and basically what's going to happen in the stock market this year in 2021. So I just wanted to make a video of my prediction of where I think it's going to go. Before I get into it, just make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Just shows me you guys are still interested in this stuff. And a lot of people only talk about stocks, and a lot of people sometimes only talk about like advice and stuff like that, or where they think the market's going. I kind of like doing a mixture of both, just because I think it's important that you understand, what is going to happen in the coming years or this year before putting money into the market. I feel like that's important. So let's start here. So yeah, like, subscribe, make sure you do that. It definitely gives me motivation to keep making videos, because to be honest, if you've never done this, it really is kind of exhausting. Like if you want to be consistent and put out good content, it requires a lot of research, a lot of time and everything else. So much appreciated if you like it and subscribe. All right, stock market crash coming 2021. First off, you honestly, you can't predict it. If anyone tells you that a market crash is coming or not, I mean, you can't predict it. They're just lying to you straight up. So you can't predict that a market's crashed, or you can't predict it. I mean, but really, if you're familiar with the market and you understand things, it shouldn't scare you. If you're positioned correctly, no matter what in the market, and you're in good companies, that it really, you don't need to predict it. Like, it shouldn't scare you. It really shouldn't. So I'm gonna say, pros and cons, or where I think of both, because I could see it going two ways. I can see it going up and I can see it going down. So this is my first scenario. Massive bull run in 2021. I could totally see that happening, which is crazy to say because the Dow is at 30,000 and everything's at all-time highs basically. I could see this happening because we are getting more stimulus this year, and if we didn't figure anything out from last year, obviously when the Fed started printing money, the market went nuts because people were taking that money and putting it in the market, and people's dollars are devaluing, so they're putting it in the market. So as long as the Feds keep printing money and giving out stimulus, I could just continue to see it go up. Like, fact, like really, like that, just right there, I could see it going up. So that's why you don't want to get scared or sell, or like, oh, it's going to drop this and that. So that could happen. Like, it could just keep going up. So with that being said, you want to have good companies, you want to hold a position and be prepared if something else happens. Scenario number two is you could see a slight correction. I could see this happening between 10 and 25% early this year. I could see that, with the change in leadership, and maybe the vaccine has difficulties, issues, delays, or people are panicking now, or whatever, for whatever reason, I could see a correction. Or the market's at all-time highs, but it's overvalued, which you could argue it is. So I could see a pullback. I could see that as scenario like two, basically. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. But if it does, I'll make a video and tell you what I'm buying and where I'm taking advantage of this, because I do have some cash on the sidelines put aside for certain plays I want to do if it does correct. So scenario one, massive bull run. Sweet, I got my positions, I'm happy with it, I'll let it ride. Scenario number two, a correction a little bit, that amount early this year. Cool, I got money on the sidelines, I'm not worried about it. I'll build to my positions and maybe buy some other things that I have my eyes on. So people always say, so correction and stock market correction and stock market crash are two totally different things. And people, I feel like, term them the same way, but they're two different things. A correction is like 5 to 25%. A crash is like 30 to 50%, kind of like what we saw last year, early spring, late winter. So I hate when people say it's going to crash and then they're talking 10%, because that's not a crash. That's just a correction, which is healthy, to be honest. So I personally don't think there will be a crash this year. Just like the Feds will print money to not allow it to crash, I think, personally. So I wouldn't sweat this. If this does happen, I would just go down to probably 5–10% cash at that point, but I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm prepared for it. Bubble, okay, so let's just say scenario one happens, a massive bull run in 2021. It ran in 19, it ran in 20. Can it run in 2021? Yes. I mean, bull runs and overvalued companies and bubbles, they can go years. So that's another important reason why you shouldn't sell your stocks, like no matter what happens. Because what if this bubble lasts to 2023? So, I mean, I'd be pretty pissed if I sold all my stocks assuming there's going to be a crash or a correction and it never happened. Like, you'd be like, what the heck? So just like the election this year, a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be crazy. It's an election year. There's a lot of uncertainty. Well, if you sold your stocks before November 3rd of 2020, you lost so much money between November and the end of December, like probably 20, 30%. Like, that's why you don't do that, in my opinion. So the bubble can last years. You know, try staying around 30% cash or 10, 15, but you know, I'm 30% cash heavy right now, so you know, we'll see what happens. Feds print money, already brought this up. That's why I don't think there will be a crash. Also, why I don't think there's going to be a crash. Low APRs. The banks are lending money at all-time lows all around. Mortgages, all-time low. Companies are getting all-time low interest rates. A lot of car manufacturers that got smoked this year, last year minus Tesla, they're offering 0% for 60 months, just trying to get cars moving out the door to just get the new models in. So that's another reason why I don't think we're going to see a crash, because everything's so low right now. It stimulates the market basically. So borrowing money, yeah, cars 0%, housing, you know, you can get a 2 to 3% fixed 30 mortgage right now. Like, that's crazy. That's the lowest it's ever been in history. So that's awesome. Vaccine is, Pfizer and Moderna have vaccines out, limited quantities going to frontline workers currently right now. But I do think in 2021, in the late spring, midsummer, it will be readily available at like CVS, Walgreens, and all that. So there's going to be a lot of pent-up demand to travel. Yeah, there's going to be people scared to travel still, and they're going to be skeptical. But I do think when the rules are lifted a little, there's going to be a lot of money moving around because people are going to want to travel and do this and that. So that's really why I think it might, my opinion, I think it might correct in the, you know, late winter, early spring, and then just go on a crazy run. That's what I think it's going to do just because of this. The vaccine and pent-up demand, I think it's going to be nuts. So, already said this, not selling any of my stocks no matter what happens. Just keep cash on the sideline. Put yourself in a winning position. So, that's, you know, 20, 30% heavy right now. And no matter what happens, you'll be fine. Like I say in all my videos, if I haven't really bought a position or sold a position in the past 3-4 weeks. I've kind of just been riding it out. But if I do sell, like my big four, if you go in my previous videos, they're growth stocks. I'm a long-term investor if you don't know. And I basically do weekly updates and monthly updates on those four news, the growth percentage, and what's going on. So if anything happens or I add position or whatever, I'll make a video and put it out that day and say why I did it. So that's it. That's all I got on this one. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. And that's it. Peace.